Now, when I've mentioned this to people in church before, about Job, they don't really seem to know their Bibles, because whenever I do mention this, they always go, "Oh no, that can't be right. That's not right." Well, yeah, it's in Job quite a few times. Let's go over this. Yeah, Job 12:16. With him is strength and wisdom. The deceived and the deceiver are his. Okay, that's Job 12:16, the Amplified Version. With him are might and wisdom. The deceived and the deceiver are his, and in his power. So that's telling us that I mean, anybody that doesn't think that God's in control of Satan, well, what Bible are you reading? What God do you believe in? Because it's saying it here. I figured it out for myself. I didn't even need to read it in the Bible. If God's in control of everything, then he's in control of Satan as well, isn't he? So he's allowing this to happen. Again, further on in Job. Behold, he putteth no trust in his saints. Now this. First video I did, my introduction. The Book of Enoch, yeah? And I speculate that these 10,000s of saints sent to execute judgment on us all, well, they're not going to be very nice, okay? And this confirms it. It's in Job. Behold, he putteth no trust in his saints. Yeah, the heavens are not clean in his sight. That's King James Version. Amplified. Behold, God puts no trust in his holy ones. Yeah, holy ones. Now, I think in Book of Jude, just before Revelations, sometimes they're referred to as saints, these 10,000s of saints. Sometimes they're referred to as holy ones. Okay, so it's in Job, saints and holy ones. Just confirming what I said in my introduction, basically. I'll finish it. Behold, God puts no trust in his holy ones, the angels. Indeed, the heavens are not clean in his sight. So, yeah, wanted a bit of proof, a bit of clarification. Well, read Job, and it's just everywhere in Job. So these saints or holy ones that have come to execute judgment upon us all, yeah, they're pretty badass, man, you know. They ain't going to be friendly, yeah, and they're deceiving everybody. There's celebrities, okay, not just the celebrities though. This kind of thing's going to start happening in churches as well, with the entertainers. They're the entertainers. Yeah, I said celebrities, I'll say the entertainers, okay. And that's in Revelations as well. Yeah, I can't remember it exactly, but something about revellings and banquetings and abominable idolatries, and yeah, entertainers as well. Okay. When you're having a party, you know, you're doing whatever you like. There's entertainment in there as well. So they're who we need to be aware of, and yeah, they are more than who they seem. Okay, they're not just a bunch of people that ain't got a clue what they're doing. They're just getting drunk and partying and so on. No. Some of them are maybe aware of it. I'm pretty sure some of them are aware of what they're doing. and they're just having a laugh basically. They're laughing at you. They're laughing at you. You're falling for them. So, and others, yeah, unfortunately they probably don't know what they're getting themselves into, but they're being used as well. And these are the evil spirits, the angels that were banished from heaven. Okay? And what I see now, even in the churches, it's all about fame. Okay? It's all about, it's very competitive as well. Everyone's competing with each other and trying to be the best and just be famous basically. And this is unrighteous. Okay? Yeah, you've got to be careful of that. I'm seeing it a lot now, and it's getting worse. So, yikes. Yeah, it's not the God way. Okay. And everyone's like kind of not really respecting the fellow man, because it's always a competition and who can be better than the other. Yeah. One thing I'll add to that, and this is really important because it happened to me briefly, okay, because it's so obvious now what's going on, and plus I've been reading a lot. Don't get wound up in it. They're doing it deliberately, okay? This is all a test, and they're doing it deliberately in church as well. People, me included, we see that kind of thing and we get so irate at it. But yeah, tell them what you think about it, but don't let it get to you too much. I mentioned this before, and it's imperative, because this is all going to happen. There's not much we can do about it other than preach Job and Enoch and so on and say it's all a game show, okay? This is all set up, and don't let it get to you, okay? Yeah, they're having a laugh, and I mean, I refuse to believe anymore that this is just, oh, sorry, it's a bit of a mistake. Oh yeah, we slipped up that time. No, these are his saints again, and they're doing it deliberately to see who's interested and who isn't, okay? It's all part of the judgment. So, if you're watching this, then you're saved, okay? Because you realise that it's all part of the judgment, and you know what to do about it now. Yeah, just get away from it. Yeah. So, thanks for watching, and yeah, I'm going to start talking more about Jesus soon, and the book of John in particular, because that's an awesome book. Yeah, I said it before, whenever I need revival I'll read John. And yeah, the most important thing is not to let it get to you. I spoke with a minister last night actually, because it was getting to me, and I mean you keep going from one stage to the next. It's like you notice it, it's like, whoa, that's not on, that ain't right, and you know you're gonna argue about it and say no, you shouldn't be doing that, you shouldn't be doing that, and then the next stage is, hang on, they keep doing it, they're not really listening, and you think, what's going on then? there's an agenda. Okay, so now you're at that stage, and then you're still thinking, oh, we've got to fight them, we've got to challenge them, and so on. You get to that stage, and it's winding you up inside, and you realise that, and then you go, oh, okay, well, maybe I should just chill out a bit. This is all set up as well to make us angry. So I'm at that stage now. I don't know what the next one is, but hopefully this is it, what I'm doing right now. Preaching it, you know. Yeah, so, I mean, tell everybody you know. Tell everybody you know. And all they've got to do is just like watch this really, and read. But I've put some highlights online on my website, adamsministry.co.uk. I've just been putting the Job highlights on there actually, so yeah, check those out as well, so you've got a better understanding, and you know before you start to see it. Yeah, because I know some of you are going to see this kind of stuff and it's going to really get to you. Okay, so I'm just warning you in advance, alright? Okay, thanks a lot. The reason it's so important that you let everybody you know about this is because this is what's going to happen in the future. Okay, we need to prepare for it. And yeah, people are just it's gonna really destroy some people. Decent people are gonna see this, and it's gonna just hurt them inside. But again, it's bad news, okay? And you need to get away from it. So, I mean, all of these videos are free. The ancient Egyptian electromagnetism one, now I'm putting a price tag on that because it is how we built the pyramids using EM. Okay, so, and I do need a bit of money, so, but all the others are free, and this is vital information, okay? You're definitely getting your money's worth by knowing these things in advance, because before I was going to church, I had a similar situation in my life. Okay, I was getting involved in stuff which was all conspiracy theories and so on, and just preaching hate at the government and all of this, and it affected me big time. And because I'd been through it before, I was more aware of this once I noticed it in a different environment. So, but a lot of people aren't going to be, and it's just such a shame, because I can see what's going to happen to them. They're going to end up hating everybody around them, and nobody's going to like them or want to be with them, because this is going to get to you. If it's getting to you that much, then the only way you can conquer that really is to let everybody else know, okay? Because then you feel like you've done something, you can warn other people, and you're going to feel better inside, okay? So, yeah, that's the best way, I think. That's going to be the best way for everybody. As things get this dark, and there's nothing else you can really do about it. Don't, just sit all isolated, all cooped up, letting this destroy you, but instead join me and others around me in letting everybody know about this. Okay, and you'll feel a lot better for it. Yeah. Thanks a lot. And I'll tell you what else I'm going to add. About the competition thing. Everybody's competing with one another who can get the best message in, okay? But all they're really doing is parroting what someone else has said, or what's in the Bible and what Jesus said. That's great, to repeat those messages that Jesus said and so on. But they're too busy, too preoccupied trying to be the best and so on. They're forgetting all about the truth, okay? Nobody's preaching the truth anymore. And they're deliberately leaving out the warnings because they're trying to get the best message and all be famous and have everybody worship them. And it's worrying, okay? Because the truth is being left out, and it's deceit. So yeah, I mean, well, I guess it gives me the advantage because I'm studying the truth, and that's what I'm doing right now. So at least I get the advantage. I can attract a different group of people. Yeah, why are you leaving out the truth? It ain't right. I mean, everyone's prancing around, jumping up and down like monkeys, and it's just being left out. And everyone's saying, oh, it's end times now, it's getting pretty bad now. So it is kind of the right time to talk about this, well, warn people about it. There's a way of doing it without being all dark and so on, and including Jesus in there as well, because these are his words as well, okay? He warns us of false teachings, false prophets and teachers, and I think a lot of churches, what they're afraid of is if they mention this, people might start to think, oh, is this false teaching what I'm being taught right now? And then they leave. That's what it's all about. The ones that are, keeping this back from the people, I think they're doing it because they don't want to lose their congregation. But me, on the other hand, well, I wouldn't care. I'm going to talk about this as well, okay? So yeah, if you want somebody that's going to speak the truth instead of just jump up and down like a monkey and just try and get the best message in and compete with everybody else, then yeah, I mean, give us a shout, because people need to know this now, and it's not being taught anywhere, and I'm probably the right man for the job. So if you want a little bit of this alongside, like I said, Jesus didn't say much on it, so but yeah, if you want some of these messages in one of your services, maybe, then give us a shout, and I can do that while others do the more important things. Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say that. Yeah, the love of God is the most important thing. Yeah, but this is important as well. And the level of the deceit that's going on, I'd say it's just as important nowadays to talk about this, because it is, yeah, it's getting into the churches now. Okay. So, yeah, if you want something a little bit different, and you don't want people to get too upset over it, and give us a shout and I'll see what I can do. Yeah. Okay. Cheers. Now, as you've probably gathered, I'm a bit of a thinker, okay? So, when I had this revelation about the testings, everything being a test, and that's how the judgment is brought upon us, and I applied that to the churches as well, I started to think, is this a little bit too much understanding? But no, then I thought afterwards, no, I don't think so. I'm glad to be aware of this, and it's not a privilege. I've had to learn this myself. Okay, people need to learn this for themselves. They need to know how to think for themselves. And the people that are joining the Freemasons as well, that is all a test. What stage of Freemasonry are you going to drop out? Because the sooner the better, okay? And you get up to all these different degrees of it and so on. And people that get to the top, that they pay money to, I mean, there was a, I don't know if I said, no, I don't think I mentioned this story before. There was a Freemason at the swimming pool I used to work at. I was a lifeguard. And I stayed away from him, okay, but because we had to work together, he was my duty manager, he'd tell me, little things about it. I'd ask the odd question here and there, and he said he'd read parts of the Bible, and there's, he mentioned the Temple of Solomon. That seems to be a big thing in Freemasonry. And it was when he mentioned the word crafts that, alarm bell started ringing. But yeah, he wanted to show me his book, because he could see that I was showing a little bit of interest. He wanted to show me his book, and I was like, no. You're not infecting my mind with that kind of thing. But I mean, these guys, he told me he had to pay a certain amount, and it's big money as well, it's big bucks you got to pay, and certain secrets would be revealed to him, I like to figure it out for myself, It's more fun doing it that way. But I mean, they pay money to get in this club and get higher up and get a better ranking, and they think they're going up in the world, but all they're doing is going down. The longer you're in it, the less likely you are to make it into heaven. You're going to have to make up. If you do drop out, then everything the amount of time you stayed in there, you're going to have to make up for that afterwards, okay? Because you failed all them tests, now you've got to pass a bunch of other ones, okay? So yeah, those guys that are getting to the top and having to do all kinds of things that I've heard of, I mean, I don't even want to think what it takes to become a 33rd degree Freemason, but not very good at all, I don't think. But yeah, it's all a game. I mean, it's a pretty harsh game as well. I mean, talking about people's lives here. But it's all flesh, okay? It's all flesh, which doesn't matter, it's the spirit that matters. That's why this game's taking place, and that's why God allows it, because it's only flesh, yeah? So, yeah, they've failed miserably if they've made it to 33rd degree. So, and the people that are testing you, yeah, they're the angels, and they themselves know that it's all wrong and that you shouldn't be doing it, but you're falling for it, and they're like, oh yeah, come on, yeah, do this, do that, making you do things, and they will be repented of that evil, possibly, okay. I mean, they have been banished to the earth, these evil spirits. So, I mean, they're stuck down here and they don't like it. But all they're doing is carrying out God's work. Okay? But unfortunately, those of you that have fallen for it, that couldn't think for yourselves and see, this isn't right, I've got to get out of there, you're going down, and your leaders may not necessarily be going with you. That's the shocking part of it all, I'm afraid. Yeah. So, is it a bit too much understanding all of this? No, I don't think so at all. I'm going to be very cautious and keep my eyes wide open every time I leave the house, well, even when I'm in my house. And this level of consciousness, yeah. Now, I've been writing a fair bit on this, and I've made up a few ground rules of my own, and yeah, consciousness is one of them. And the kind of consciousness I'm talking about here is being aware of the spirits that are around you, that can see every single thing that you're doing. Once you have that level of consciousness, it actually teaches you to obey, okay? It teaches you obedience, because you won't want to do this kind of stuff if somebody else is in the room, would you? Okay, so that helps you a great deal. So yeah, that's one of my rules, consciousness of these angels. It's actually number 3. The other two, I don't know, I'll wait until I've got it all together in my own mind first, but yeah, number 1, yes, I won't discuss it yet, but it will be in one of my books, okay, and this is for people that want advanced learning, advanced teachings on Christianity. I've made 3 rules, yeah, and that consciousness is one of them. That will teach you obedience, big time, okay. Yeah. The other 2, I think they're really good. I think they're good ones. But I don't want to say anything yet until I've gone through it properly. So yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's freaky, and when you don't do the right thing, or you do the right thing, when you're a Christian and you gain this level of awareness, you'll hear them talking to you when you've done the wrong thing. you'll hear a voice, or you've done a good thing, again, and yeah, crazy world we're living in. So, yeah. Anyway, there we go. Rule number 3, consciousness, awareness of these angels and God that can see every single thing we're doing. That'll teach you obedience. Right, now, remember what I said about everything being a test, okay? The deceit runs deeper than you would think, okay? Now, we've got all the people in the media testing us, but there's also the possibility of churches testing people, okay? Same principle, God's saints come to judge us, and yeah, think about it. Some of the messages in the churches some of those messages aren't right, okay? It's false teachings. Now, I don't understand, well, I didn't understand why it was allowed, but now I do, okay? It's all a game again, it's all a test, alright? So, be very careful of that. Don't forget, God's angels, they can see every single thing you're doing. So, all he has to do is have some false prophet on stage saying a bunch of nonsense, and if you're nodding and agreeing to it, write that one down. Yeah? Okay? But, if you're against it, you go up a notch. Okay? So, this is how it's being done. It's very sneaky. Okay, it's very sneaky. So, if you're agreeing with messages that you shouldn't be, then you've failed the test. They can see that you can't really think for yourselves. Alright? I mentioned this in another video, but you need to be able to think for yourselves. And how do you do this? You've got to know right from wrong from the beginning, really. So, yeah, all these extravagant churches, watch them, alright? They're testing you in the same way. Anyway, I'll leave it there. Okay? They're sneaky, man. They are sneaky. And the other thing, when they're leaving out half of the Bible deliberately, choosing not to speak about it, some of these things even Jesus mentioned, okay? He told us to be careful of certain people. And he had visions of the future and not being mentioned. Now, when you don't mention Enoch, Jasher, giants, Dead Sea Scrolls, other lost books of the Bible, and even Revelations, Luke, Peter, half of the Bible, when those are being deliberately left out, then that is deceit. Yep, it's deceit, isn't it? Think about it. Why aren't you mentioning that? Jesus managed to do it without upsetting everybody. Yeah? If we're going to focus on the Word of God, then, well, he said some of this stuff, so still the Word of God, isn't it? And it's in the Bible, so yeah. Not mentioning these things is part of the deceit. So don't you go thinking I can't see right through you, okay? I'm on to you, angels of the Lord, okay? I know what you're doing. I know what you're playing at. I can see the deceit. And, well, I'm going to preach it, alright? Yeah. You're in for it now, I'm telling you. You've gone too far. You're deceiving too many good people. You're turning good people. And I'm on to you and I'm coming for you.